How are we doing today? Just wanted to drop a quick word on you about believing you can change. So, had a really powerful experience being in the prisons today in Arizona off the 17, and it was just super eye opening. It was a juvenile prison, so kids, anywhere between 13 and 18 years old. They're felons, murder, drugs, cars, whatever it was that they're in there for, it doesn't really matter. But I just felt like I wanted to share this after a reflection from today. And, being in there, it just reminded me like they're just kids, right? They're just kids. And I think there's a lot of common denominators between why they're in there. I think the biggest one happens to be family life, it happens to be home life, happens to be lack of male role model figures, it happens to be just poor environment, poor situation. That's I believe is the biggest common denominator. Yes, are there bad decisions? Yes, have the kids done stupid things? Yes, have they gone way too far? Yes, have they risked their life? Of course, there's all of that. There's all of that. But if we boil all this stuff down to it, I think as people who have good parents, we need to just be more grateful and thankful that we did. Sometimes parents can be overbearing. Sometimes parents can be too in control. But isn't it better to have that than the opposite, where there's no involvement, where nobody cares, where the environment sucks, and all of that stuff? So, was very eye opening. And at the end of the day, I was just chatting with kids. I got to chop it up with the kids, and bro, we were laughing around, we were joking, we were making fun of each other. They're making fun of me. They think my shoes are stupid. All this stuff. Where they're showing me their muscles. I'm just like, this is funny, man. These kids are felons, and like they're still looking at each other's muscles, saying who's got bigger biceps and whatnot. So just eye opening, man. They're just kids. They're just kids. And what I saw today were a bunch of miracles. That's what I reminded them. A bunch of kids that were worthy, a bunch of people that have it within them, right? I even told them about their commitment level. Like, not everybody is as committed as they are. Like, think about that. Not everybody is as committed as a felon is. Not everybody is as committed as somebody who's committed a crime is. Because there's a lot of people who will do dumb stuff, but they'll never go across the edge, right? They have some sort of filter, they have something that like holds them back, and they don't ever go forward with it. But these kids, they're actually committed. Now, have they been committed to darkness? Have they been committed to the wrong things? Absolutely. And I challenged them, what if you could channel your commitment into your calling? Right? What if you could channel your commitment into your calling instead of the darkness? So their level of commitment is off the charts. That's what's got them in there. Now, their level of commitment can also get them out of there, but they got to do some things before they get there. And I had some interesting conversations afterwards about with some kids who just they accept Christ, right? There's a ton of salvations today between me and John Kragel's messages. They accept Christ, they want Jesus in their heart, they want to follow God's plan, they want to read the Bible, but they don't believe that they can change. They literally don't believe that they can change. Some of those kids have been in there since they were 11 years old, and now they're 17 or 18, right? They get back home and they get back in the same environment, they get back in the same house, they get back with the same kids, they get back with the same older people doing stupid stuff, and the cycle continues. So my message today was, how do you become free when you're locked up? Right? And it has nothing to do with where you're at, but it has everything to do with where you're at. If you're going to change in life, yes, it does have a lot to do with the environment initially, right? That can spark change. If you go from Tucson to Texas, or you go from East Valley to West Valley, that's change in environment. You're in a new place, you're in a new routine, you're doing new things all throughout the day, you're in new places. That's going to mess with your mind. You're not going to have any of those habitual things. When you get here, you do this. When you see this person, you do that. When you go down this block, you do this. You're not going to have that because you're in a totally new environment. So you got to understand how the brain works and why the environment is the quickest hack to changing, because you're in a new place. So all of the roadmaps in your mind, they're gone. Now, in lies the problem for our youth. Most of the time, you don't have a choice of where you're at. You are chosen to be with a certain family. You're chosen to be with foster care. You're chosen to be adopted. You're chosen to be in whatever situation you're in. You're chosen. Some of the kids live with grandma and grandpa. Dad's dead. Mom's gone. Those type of situations all across the board. That's not abnormal in this whole state. It doesn't matter where you are in this state. That's not abnormal, right? We think this is only bad in certain parts of the state. No, no, no. This is bad everywhere, right? It's just covered up in a different way, right? If you get in the East Valley, a lot of that's covered up by money, right? Divorced families, whatever. It's covered up by money, right? But if you just look at it, the bad home life situations, they're present everywhere. So what you need to do is you have to believe that you can change. And I talk to kids after, like, man, I want to change but I can't, I never will, I don't, I have no vision for my life, I don't think I have a future. And I'm just like, dang, that really has been implanted within you. But you literally have to believe you can change. You just got to start turning everything in your mind. You got to turn everything in your mind upside down, because I challenged them and I asked them, how has your mindset gotten you? What up, Trey? Are you proud of where you're at right now? Like, is what you're doing working? And if it's not, you got a decision to make. And some people, they'll never change. They'll never make a different decision. They just want to be who they are, or they feel that stuck, or the enemy is attack them so heavily that they truly believe like this is their destiny. Right. And that is totally true. And that can totally be something. I remind them today that the war that they're fighting isn't between flesh and blood, it's in the unseen world. It's in the spiritual realm, and that can be fought by the power of the Holy Spirit. So we do have a tool in the tool belt to fight against the enemy, to fight against Satan. It's called the Holy Spirit, and he's batting 1,000. Right? There's no pitch that he can't hit. There's no slider that he can't hit. There's no curveball that he can't hit. The Holy Spirit's batting 1,000, and he's gonna knock every evil spirit. He's gonna knock Satan out of the park every time. It may not be on your time zone, but he's gonna hit that sucker, and it's gonna be a home run every time. He's gonna knock Satan in the face. He's gonna stomp on the serpent's head. So you need to call upon the Holy Spirit, and you need to start calling upon the Holy Spirit to believe in yourself that you can change. Whether that's a diet, whether that's a mindset, or whether it's like these kids when they get out and they go back into the same environment, they get back into the same house, but they got a different heart. They got a different spirit. And that's why I was challenging them today. You're locked up, but you can be set free. And I said, that sounds radical of me to say. You're locked up, but you can be set free. But let me tell you why. Because when I was locked up physically and I was physically broken with my injuries and I couldn't touch the field, I received mental and heart freedom because of Jesus Christ, because of Jesus Christ and his blood. That's how I did it. And I told him, you can do it too. But you have to change your mind in a radical way. And then you got to start changing little things. You got to start reading the right things. You got to start thinking the right way. You got to start working out. You got to start testing your mind and body physically. Because I think a lot of times what happens is we lack belief in ourselves because we always give in to our flesh. We always give in to when things become painful, we stop, right? When we're working out and things are painful, we stop, right? Or when we have an urge or a desire to do something, hit somebody in the face, shoot a gun, retaliate on other people, we always cave. We always give in. And I think that's because we run from pain so much, right? If we're never testing ourselves physically, right? And we never move beyond comfort, and we're always doing things that are comfortable. When things come up in our life that are testing our flesh and say, you should go retaliate, you should go do this, this, and that, you're going to give into it because you always give into it. You always give into quitting, and you're going to give in to desire. So in order to believe in yourself in a different way, you got to turn your mind upside down, and you got to start building new habits and new routines. Even if you're in the same place, if you can get in a different place here, you can radically change your life. The biggest hack and the quickest hack is going to be environmental. That's why people choose to go to a different gym. That's why people choose to, shop at a different grocery store to change their food habits. But that's not always feasible for somebody who's 13 to 18 years old. They got to change this and they got to change that. So that's what I got for you tonight. Believe in yourself, believe that you can change, but you got to do some radically different things and create radically different thought patterns and habits. Let's get it.